Spider-Man came out in 2002, and you guys may be wondering, why am I reviewing Spider-Man and not a Quentin Tarantino film? Because I'm supposed to be reviewing the other Quentin Tarantino films for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I want to upload for my 600 subscriber special, by the way. Well, today is actually Spider-Man Day, so I figured, why not review a Spider-Man movie? I mean, he's one of my favorite superheroes of all time, and if I review one Spider-Man movie, I can review any other Spider-Man movie any other day I really want to, since I already covered one. And I figured, why not review the first Spider-Man film? I mean, it's a modern classic. It's definitely one of my favorite movies. And the movie is as old as me, really. It came out in 2002, and I've been on this planet since 2002, and Spider-Man has technically been one of my favorite superheroes of all time, and this movie is honestly one of the best modern superhero films. Possibly one of the best superhero films of all time. Aside from Spider-Man 2, which is also one of the best superhero films of all time. So I figured, since if I covered this movie review out, I can review all the other Spider-Man films whenever I want to. And you know, Spider-Man Far From Home is out, so I'll probably... By the way, I'm so sorry I didn't get to upload a review of Spider-Man Far From Home. I really wanted to, but you know, I'm busy trying to review other films. So I'll probably review that later on this month, or maybe when that comes out on DVD. But trust me, I will review that movie sometime on my channel. But anyway, let's talk about Spider-Man. So this film came out in 2002 and was directed by Sam Raimi, the man who made the Evil Dead, actually. So that's kind of surprising for him to go from that to this movie. And Sam Raimi's honestly had a promising movie career and stuff like that. But anyway, and this film stars Tobey Maguire, and this film tells the story of Peter Parker, and a teenager. And he sort of starts off as your average teenager and stuff like that. He's not really like well known or that special and stuff like that, to society at least. But one day, Tobey Maguire, who plays as Peter Parker, gets bitten by a radioactive spider, which causes him to have powers and shoot webs. And these powers lead Peter Parker to become something special in the city of New York. A new superhero known as Spider-Man, who fights villains, in particular the Green Goblin, who has a plan to destroy New York City, and Spider-Man. Like I said, this is one of the best superhero films ever made, most likely, I'd have to say. This is definitely not really a perfect film, but this film is just extremely exciting to watch. There are so many memorable moments in the first Spider-Man that easily get engraved into your head. There are a lot of things in this film that are honestly unforgettable. The performances are one of them, and the action sequences are absolutely phenomenal. And I'm gonna be completely honest, and this is technically really my only flaw with this movie, so I might as well get it out of the way now. And this isn't necessarily something as writing goes or anything like that, or direction, because honestly I think the writing and the directing is really well handled in this film. But sometimes some of the special effects don't really hold up in this movie. They're sort of dated, really. And I can watch films like Spider-Man today and notice that the special effects don't really hold up that well today. That's honestly really my only flaw with this movie. And honestly, now that I mentioned my flaw with this movie, I don't really have to say any other thing bad about this movie. I can talk about my deep love for this movie for the rest of this review. Tobey Maguire does a fantastic job as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. We get to see his life as a teenager. He's such a very charming and likable character. And yes, he has problems as a teenager, and we all have problems as teenagers. And it literally only took this one day for him to get bitten by a radioactive spider to cause him to have superpowers that he didn't even know he would get. And honestly, I'm going to be completely honest when I say this. Tobey Maguire is possibly the best Spider-Man we have. Possibly. And I say possibly because today, the biggest Spider-Man that's known today is most likely Tom Holland, but I can't really see anyone getting better than Tobey Maguire. Like, really? Getting better than Tobey Maguire? Tom Holland is great. I really love the guy. But Tobey Maguire? Can you really get better than that? I don't think you can. Some of the best things about this film are seeing the Green Goblin challenge this new hero, Spider-Man. And it's very interesting to watch. And let me just say, the action sequences, still to this very day, are astounding. It is fantastic on how well shot and directed these action sequences were between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin and other action sequences that are featured in this film. One thing, though, that most people probably don't even talk about today in this Spider-Man film is the costume designs for this film. The costume designs... I recently watched the first Spider-Man, and I gotta say, the costumes designs still look amazing. Still! That's something I will give credit to. The costume designs do hold up compared to the special effects, which don't really hold up. But the costume designs are immaculate. Let's talk about Kirsten Dunst, who honestly delivers a fantastic performance in this film. Her character, Mary Jane, her character is really something in this film. The relationship and the friendship between her and Peter Parker are honestly very romantic. It was so cute, and some of the best romantic elements I've seen in a superhero film. And honestly, Peter and Mary really did have some really good chemistry in this film. You will see a lot of Mary in this. Let's talk about William Dafoe. He really delivers his performance in this film. Dafoe does a fantastic job as the Green Goblin. And it's very interesting because in the first half of this movie, you see his character that's sort of like a normal citizen to society. And then as the movie progresses, you can easily tell that something suspicious and sinister might go down with this character. And it's almost like, okay, he's the main antagonist. And he does become the main antagonist. It becomes obvious in like the midpoint of the movie, and it's awesome, really. And he and Spider-Man really did have some great moments in this film. When they were communicating with each other, when they were fighting each other, especially the ending of the movie. The ending of the movie is honestly kind of dark, especially for a PG-13 movie. And I'm mainly talking about the scene, spoilers if you haven't seen Spider-Man, I'm mainly talking about the scene where Spider-Man jumps into the burning building and then he encounters Green Goblin, and they're fighting in that building. It was either a burning building or a different building. I don't know. It's been a bit. It's been a while since I wouldn't necessarily say it's been a while since I've recently seen this, but it was a building. Spider-Man jumps into a building to go after the Green Goblin, and they're fighting each other, and it feels really dark. And not just how they're fighting, but the atmosphere and the score playing in the background, the soundtrack, especially on how Green Goblin dies in this film, is kind of disturbing. But it was definitely satisfying nonetheless. Another thing that Spider-Man is really good at is delivering supportive characters like Peter Parker's uncle or his friends. And when I mean friends, like literally a couple of friends. The film makes us love these characters. It really does. It gives us time to know each and every character that's a part of Peter Parker's life before we actually get to see Peter Parker become Spider-Man and save New York from the Green Goblin. And I love that. I love how the film didn't just decide to be didn't decide to be a superhero movie where you automatically see Spider-Man once the film starts. No, it starts off with us discovering Peter Parker's life, his teenage life, and how he became Spider-Man. It's technically faithful to the comics, and that's what we loved, and that's what we technically wanted to see. But do I really have to say any more about this film? Spider-Man is an excellent film. An excellent film from writing and characterization and the performances and the direction. And the special effects do not hold up. I'm going to be completely honest, they don't hold up. But this film is one of the best superhero films, I'd have to say. Probably one of the best Marvel films. I'm going to give Spider-Man an A. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Look forward to more reviews that'll be coming very soon. I'm going to finish the Quentin Tarantino films, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this review. You guys are the best. Love every single one of you. And as always, if you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button to join the EliB/520 community? And I will see you next time. Peace out.